Today, I am joined with Jiliane Johnson. I'm very grateful and thankful for her to help me out today. Not just help me out, but I'm really looking forward to talking to her. I had a last minute schedule change with Coffee and a Cowgirl this week, and just brainstorming about women who were in my circle who not only have a positive outlook on life, but a positive attitude and a story that would resonate with many of the women who watch or many of the women that I'm associated with in life. So Jiliane came to mind. I've known Jiliane and her husband, Matt, since we were in college. We won't say a date. I don't want to age either one of us here. But I've known Jiliane and Matt for a really long time, and I've watched them from afar on social media. And Jiliane is somebody who, even though we don't talk or see each other anymore, she definitely sends a very inspirational message just about raising a family and farm life. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think that you become who you surround yourself with. And if you surround yourself with negativity, that is who you become ultimately. And so we're here to share a positive and inspiring message. And I'm just really excited to talk with Jiliane. And I also have one question. Jiliane has 4 kids, so I would like to know, inquiring minds, how the hell do you get all your laundry done, Jiliane? I can't do it with you.
I can, first off, being a mom is not easy. And I don't think it matters if you have 1 child or 10 kids. We're somewhere in the middle, lucky. Yeah. It's hard. And being a farmer's wife, yeah, I don't know anybody else. If you farm, if you have barns, if you run, construction, that there aren't clothes in all of your equipment. Because I mean, I can tell you the knee boots that line up my back door, and they are not smelling like Febreze. And along the hay, there'll be old sweatshirts. It gets too hot during the middle of the day, so the kids take their sweatshirts off. I don't do. My laundry looks like Mount St. Helens. Let's just be honest and call it what it is.
Oh my God. Mine just never ends. I don't know. I feel like
then you have sports. I mean, no. I'm lucky. Every once in a while, my mother-in-law will look at me and be like, "Can I take a couple of those laundry baskets tomorrow?" I'm like,
please,
praise Jesus, thank you. The younger version of me would have been like, "Oh no, you can't do that. No, I don't need help. I can do this all."
I need help.
I can't do it all anymore.
I quit with the socks. I just buy a new pack like every 2 weeks because I'm done trying to find the matches.
There's something about, we're going to just set it all out there today, but there's something about socks and boots. I rot the socks or what happens, but we go through socks in my house like crazy. I'm
Agreed.
Like, how do we end up with just one? What happens?
Holes and dirty. You can't have a white sock around here.
No way.
Jiliane, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers today and tell us a little bit about you and your family.
Well, my husband and I, we live on my husband's family farm. It's 3rd generation. He runs about 1,200 head of hogs, 60 head of cattle. We row crop farm, about 1,000 acres. Less than 10% of it is cash rented. His family has done a wonderful, fantastic job of keeping everything family owned, and handing it down to the next generation.
Awesome. So awesome.
I mean, and that goes with too, they made smart choices. They worked hard for what they had, so that there would be something for someone to come in and work just as hard to keep and not have it taken away.
Yes.
We have 4 children, like I said, 13, 12, 8, and 3. it's crazy around here. I mean, there's always a story to tell. There's always something going on. Somebody's always looking for something, whether it be sports gear, a show halter, or a book bag, or, you know, I mean, it is what it is.
Last night when we were trying to connect to just do a little test run, you text me at like 9 o'clock and you're like, I've just got to run through the drive-through to feed one more kid yet, and then I'll be right with you. I'm like, it's just life on a farm. Life.
I do. I didn't have a whole lot going on yesterday, and I thought I would take some of the farm sweatshirts and stuff that we have accumulated, and I'm like, this is like 5 loads of laundry. I'll run them to the laundry mat real quick. You know, I'll get that done. And then our oldest texted me. She had got home from softball, and she was like, I really would love it since you're in town if you could bring me some steak and shake. And I was like, yes, I'll grab you some steak and shake. And, you know, she was like, I helped Dad, and I bathed Nathaniel, and everybody's in bed, and I'm done with my homework. And so I was like trying to message you thinking it's going to be 9:30 before we get to talk. But this is just.
That's just life.
It's my life, you know.
Mine too. Mine too. I sometimes think about, you know, if we didn't have this, I don't even know what I would do, because we're so used to this life of just being crazy busy all the time. And even though there's so much on the plate, you always get it done, just because I feel like that's how we were raised. That's how we were built, and that's who we become.
Yeah. I feel like that's just the kind of people we are. You know, even during COVID, you know, I feel like it was such a blessing because it slowed things down. We played more board games, you know, we did s'mores in our fireplace. I'm sure the girls would be like, this was horrible because we didn't get to, you know, be at school and stuff. But it really kind of we got stuff done around the farm. By all means, it didn't make us sit idle. And we got a lot of stuff done around home. But it pulled in that connection. I feel like Matt and I will probably, you know, I don't know, ask us in 20 years. But we're always going to be doing stuff. You know, I'll probably be one of those old ladies that plays in my garden and has a garden huge. And
well, I won't be that old lady. We had this discussion about how beautiful your flowers are. So that's not me. Not a green
chickens and flowers.
I could hear them earlier.
I know you might. Yeah, they get kind of obnoxious sometimes. They are, we have to laugh because they are, I never thought I'd be one of those crazy chicken ladies that names all my chickens. And if you're watching this and you know us, and you attend our church, our chickens are named after the older ladies at our church, which is hilarious because they all have their own little personalities. And, you know, those old names are so fun. I hate to say it, but, you know, Doris and Dorothy and, you know, Betty and Beverly. And they're just fun names. And, yeah, I'm a crazy chicken lady. It's okay. I'll admit it.
I love it.
No fear.
Okay. So the other day when we were talking, I think we should just jump right into the meat of our conversation.
Sounds great.
The other day when we were talking, Jillian, well, you had lots of good nuggets and of information or wisdom. And I think that the one that there was 3 of them that I just loved. And the one that you talked about was, perfection, and how society, what we see on TV, what we see on social media, I don't know if we're expected perfection these days in the way that we look, our hair, our clothes, our marriages, our kids, our homes. But the perfection is so different for everybody, and what it's like. It is exhausting. I mean, I think that we had that. Like,
it is, you know, and you don't figure this out when you're young. And I wish we did. I wish that someone, whether we would have listened, I don't know. But you know, our society has changed so much in just 20 years. And a lot of that's social media. And some of that's great because I'm here with you. This
yes.
17 years ago. But now also, you know, if you start to kind of see things whether it's our young people are just mesmerized by it, we get sucked into it. And it's such a, the perfect wife has to weigh a certain weight. She has to look a certain way. The perfect husband, he has to be able to afford a certain kind of home for his family. You have to drive a certain vehicle. Teenagers can't even be kids anymore because we are so stuck on having to make sure they have all of this stuff. And by all means, we're just as guilty as anybody else.
Yes.
They get so sucked into, that supermodel on social media, or that 16-year-old wearing a dress and looking like a 24-year-old. That's the way we all need to look. That they've forgotten that they can be teenagers.
Kids.
And I think that's just sad because perfection is,
unattainable.
It is. It's not. Yeah. It comes from within. It's that fullness and happiness within. And I think that there's, being rich is so much more than just that gold token, that dollars. Now, if my husband was sitting here, he would say, yeah, but it sure makes life easier when you have money.
It does.
It does. But money can't buy everything.
Money can't buy happiness.
And it can't. That's a thing. And I think that comes with age too. But I do believe that, somewhere somebody's got to step back a little bit and be like, you know what, social media is great, but it is owning us. It is owning our young people. And for what? Why do we care so much what people from 3 states away who aren't even in a career that we're in think of us? I know what I mean. Like, there's just so much, we worry about things that they don't matter. They don't matter.
Well, I think even as an adult, it puts so much pressure on adults, and ultimately it causes financial stress trying to live that perfect life. And times have changed. Women work outside of the home, and we've got a lot of responsibilities, and it's hard to get all that laundry done, or have the clean house and have all the dishes and the supper ready at 7 o'clock when everybody's hungry. All of that stuff is so hard.
Right.
You
right.
can't.
It is. And it's not, my husband, he tells me a lot. And as our girls get older, we have this conversation. We're not doing them any favors, or their future husband someday. Not that we're wanting to marry our girls off, but if we don't teach them financial respect, if we don't teach them, less sometimes is more.
Always.
If we teach them, they don't, how to create meals that are realistic and financial friendly, how to be able to balance more than 2 or 3 things, because as women, we balance a lot. And, sometimes as any other woman, I probably get a little high on my horse about that. But I do everything. I don't realize how much my husband balances. Not only does he balance a family and a home and try to help out, with practices and running kids, but he balances a farm. He gets seed out. He makes sure our cattle are bred back. We're running hogs. They've got to be able to a market weight at a certain time. All in a society that thinks that the egg in your grocery market or the gallon of milk is made in the back of the store. And that's not true.
No.
And, I think we just, as a society, everybody does so much now, that you get lost in it all sometimes. You get lost in the, what is the happiness and the perfection. And,
I agree.
This would be perfect.
You had said to me that, your vision of the perfection and perspective of life has changed over the last few years. Let's talk about that and why.
It has. My husband and I, we both had agricultural backgrounds. We grew up in agriculture. We always knew we would raise our children on a family farm. We have 3 girls, and our deal breaker was 2 or 4. I really didn't want to have a middle child. And so we tried for 3 years to have a 4th baby. And, you know, I remember one day I was looking in the mirror, and that's a lot of times like when I self-reflect. And I'll either be like, Jillian, you got this. Or, whoa, sister, you need to slow down. Or, God, please, you know, just, I bargain a lot with God. And that's probably one of my downfalls. I am one of those people, I'm just like, come on, God, please, can you just, and there had been an evening that I had asked God, I'm like, please, can you just let us finish our family? And if it could be a boy, that'd be great. And amazing enough, after 3 years, we were expecting. And along that journey, I was a little bit older. And we found out that our son was, in fact, a little boy.
Yay!
And that, yep, I know. I was like, yes, you know, God did everything I asked for.
He did, yeah.
He really did. He was rocking an extra chromosome. And when I agreed to do this story, I asked Matt, I'm like, you know, what do you want me to say? What do you not want me to say? And he's like, you know, be honest. He's like, and tell how it was. And so for those of you that don't know the term rocking an extra chromosome, our son Nathaniel has an extra chromosome on the 21st chromosome. So he has Down syndrome, which is also known as trisomy 21. It was scary, not gonna lie. It consumed our life until the baby was born. You know, it was a tough time. It was a tough time for my family. I wish I knew now or then what I know now. But that's the story of life. Nathaniel,
that's the journey.
Yeah. And that, you know, I remember I made a call to a friend and I asked her if I could buy her some coffee. And I think she thought I was selling her something. And believe it or not, they had had a daughter with Down syndrome, and I adored her. She would sit on my lap at gymnastics, and she would look through my phone at our cows. And when I wasn't talking to her, she would turn my face and she would say, me. And I was like, yes, you, I'm talking to you. And I knew she had had a lot of experience on this journey. And I remember telling her, and she was ecstatic. I mean, yay! And I was like, whoa, you know, this is like, I was tears and crying, and, you know, and honestly, it's so much, it was scary of the unknown.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and thinking, I don't know if I can be this little boy's mom. You know, I don't know if I'm really good enough to raise a child with Down syndrome and make them the best person they could be. And then along that journey, you know, we found out that when Nathaniel was born, he was born in September. And then we had open heart surgery right after Christmas. And I tell you, God, he really guides you if you listen.
I was gonna say,
you know, I mean, seeing your child on a ventilator and knowing that they're on a bypass machine, and knowing, you know, a little bit about Down syndrome, that it's low tone, it's muscle oriented. Nathaniel has to work 15 times harder to move a muscle than you and I do. It's a developmental delay. So there's some things, you know, Nathaniel might not ever do. But that's okay. That doesn't bother us. Our 7-year-old can drive a Kubota around the farm and feed chickens. And you know what? I'm pretty sure Nathaniel will be able to rock that someday. you know, after the heart surgery, we didn't see the Down syndrome anymore. And you know, there was a really great quote that I read at a gala that we did for Gigi's Playhouse. And it said, you know, basically, this might not be the, you know, the glass ball that you thought it was going to be in life, but put on a different set of glasses, change the view, show the world that you can rock this. And, you know, I think that just isn't Down syndrome. That's anything in life.
Absolutely.
You know, you're taking care of a parent that has dementia. Okay, this is not the view that we thought, but you know what? Figure it out. We'll figure it out together. You know, you're trying to manage a family and then you end up with extra kids. You know, this really isn't the view that I thought I would have, but hey, you know what? We can rock this. You know, and I think that that's to anything in life. It's not just Down syndrome. I think
it's absolutely right, Jillian. I mean, you know, going back to COVID, because that's the most recent thing. I mean, you could either look at COVID as ruining your life, like the worst thing ever, or you could find the good nuggets that came out of it, like spending more time with your family. Not only just spending more time with your family, but quality time with your family.
Real time.
Real time. Yeah.
Real time. And you know, I'm a firm believer in life that we all have stuff that happens to us. We all get dealt some crappy cards one time at some point in life. And sometimes it's a lot more than what we'd like. You know, you either have to own that or it's going to own you. It's going to bring you down. It's going to make you so depressed. It's going to change who you want to be. And you know, people can say, well, that's easy for you to say. You don't. Yeah. You know, we've had some dark days. I mean, we've had some dark times. When my son had open heart surgery, Matt and I were gone for like 2 weeks at a time. To other children that were used to having us all the time. You know, it's not easy. We don't live in a society that makes it easy to say, hey, I have a child that has a developmental delay. I have a brother that has you know, I mean, people would look at me in the grocery store and be like, what's wrong with your kid? And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with my kid. You know, what's wrong with you? Just because you look great here, you know, I mean, we all got crap going on. So, you know, I think Down syndrome really taught us that what is perfection. You know, Nathaniel slowed us down. Nathaniel would come up and give hugs and kisses for no reason. My husband's not a touchy-feely person. He is now. You know, Nathaniel would be like all over his face and giving him hugs and kisses. And, you know, Matt's like, hey, buddy, you know. And I mean, you know, I think sometimes if we listen in life, the things that we need the most, God's trying to tell us. We just don't listen. And you know, I didn't come on here to preach God to everybody.
No, you didn't. But, you did say something to me the other day that I was just like, it was, it's really stuck with me. And you said, because we are not here to preach. I mean, you can believe it.
Whatever your higher power is, go. Yeah, I'm good with it.
With that. Yeah. You said, and I've just thought about it. I've thought about it so much because it fits. It fits. The shoe fits. He will use you if you let him. He will use you if you let him. And it doesn't, you know, that for you, that means or meant like you have found a new passion in advocating for Down syndrome and for your son and the people around you. That though, if you just stop and think about it, it means something different for everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it.
And I think it, you know, we only have so many trips around the sun. And none of us know when that is done. And I truly believe that, in my opinion, in Jillian's head, You know, I want to leave this world someday and know that not only did I give back, but that, you know, I left my mark on something, but I learned something. I was a better person for things that I did. And I can tell you, 10 years ago, I mean, I've been married to my husband 15 years. I know, I'm starting to date myself here. 15 years ago, if you would have looked at me and said, Matt and I will have 4 children and one of them will have Down syndrome, I would have been like, no. No.
I was going to say the same thing.
But now I'm like, we couldn't imagine our life any different. We have 3 amazing daughters, and a great son. I mean, they're all great kids, you know, and really now living the life that we live, Nathaniel's not any different than really the rest of our kids. You know, it might take him a little bit longer to learn to tie his shoes, you know, learning to be verbal and using some sign language has taken us a little bit to get used to, but it's no different than anything else. You know, you fall off the saddle in life, you get back on, you figure it out.
I was going to say, Jillian, that when you were talking about, I never thought that my life would look like this, or it's because your perspective does change as you get older, and the things that are important change. I feel like when you're young, you're naive and you get caught up in, I'm not using that as a blanket statement for everybody. It doesn't.
No, but it's youth, you know?
Yes.
It's youth. You can't, my dad always used to say, you can't have what I have because you haven't done what I've done. You can't know the knowledge that I know because you haven't made the mistakes. And oh my golly, mistakes. Yeah, I can rack those up big time. We all do that, but that's part of learning. It's only a mistake if you do it over and over and over again. You know, I'm not the same person that I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I think that's part of your view on perfection is that you have no obligation to be the same person that you were yesterday. You know, if that didn't go great in your car and you're yelling at your kids, okay, I'll example. My kids, I don't know what happens when you get in the car, but like they can find something to argue about. Somebody's looking at somebody, somebody's pinching somebody, somebody's not listening, somebody wants to run the radio. And I'm always like, guys, stop. I hate that. I hate being that mom that goes from Mary Poppins to Batman because I'm like, get your shoes on. I don't have to be that same person. I think we just lost Brack. Anyways, but I don't have to be that same person I was yesterday. You know, I think life is about growing, and she's gonna come back. So we'll just kind of keep talking. We do a lot with an organization called Gigi's Playhouse in the Quad Cities. I'm from Illinois, so Quad Cities Playhouse is where we do a lot of information. And it's an advocacy center for Down syndrome. My son is very lucky to have the women that give back and the men. We actually right now have a couple different therapists we'll be working with this summer for our son. But I was pretty naive before this whole journey. I never knew there were places like Gigi's Playhouse that existed that I could donate to. I'm a big person on giving local, whether it be through your local community. My husband and I try to serve on local things like school board or church board or for our community in town. The nice thing about Gigi's is it's local. It takes care of the people that attend that facility. So the money doesn't get lost in all that corporate stuff. You know, we've learned a lot of lessons over the last few years, and our kids have grown. And Down syndrome has changed our lives. It's kind of made us a little bit more thankful for what we have. You know, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my children. I'm thankful for my husband. You know, it's been a great ride. It's been a great journey.
Jiliane, what does be the cowgirl you want to be look like for you?
You know, I would probably, years ago, if you asked me that, I would say being strong and independent. Now it's more of taking time to enjoy the journey. And you know, and realizing that there's not every day I'm gonna rock motherhood, or I'm gonna rock being a wife, or rock being a farmer's wife. Some days it's just sliding into home plate with coffee in hand, going, "Whew, thank God we made it through the day." Because I think that's kind of what a cowgirl. You know, you don't give up, even when it's hard. You do what you do to get through, and I think that's what being a cowgirl is all about.
I do too. Can you share one unique thing about you that the viewers might not know?
I don't know. There's really not anything really unique, to be quite honest. There's really not. I like to piddle in my garden. I like chickens. I got a mound of dishes sitting on my kitchen sink. You know, I'm running into the school lane every morning about 5 minutes before I'm supposed to be there, going, "Please don't yell at me. My kids are going to be late." You know, I mean, I don't know. I love big. I think that's, you know, I guess when it's all said and done, I try to do my best. You know, I have a big heart, and I try to be a good person. That's really.
Well, I would say two things unique about you that I know is that I don't know how the hell you're doing it, but Jiliane is going back to school. I mean, God bless you for that, because I can't even imagine. And the other thing I would say is you are an incredibly, even though you've sidelined it, you are an incredibly talented photographer. Like, Jiliane definitely creates magic. If you've ever seen any of her work, it's beautiful. The ones with Santa Claus, where you place the old time Santa in those photos, Jiliane, is beautiful. So I can't thank you enough for stepping in with me today. I've truly enjoyed talking to you.
Welcome.
We share a lot of the same views on life and the perfectionism, the ideals, what we are supposed to be in life. There's just so much good that was shared today. You have a lot of wisdom that I think that people can benefit from, and I love that. So thank you for sharing your story and your journey and your nuggets.
Definitely.
Anything that you would like to say, Jiliane, before we wrap up?
Thank you very much for reaching out. And I think more people need to know about agriculture and being a mom and being a wife, and it's not easy. It's not meant to be easy.
No.
And
the ones who make it look easy are lying. They're lying.
It isn't what it is. This is pretty much what it is here. There's cattle, there's chicken. It is what it is.
Lying.
No, I think it's a great journey, and I definitely appreciate being on here today, and look forward to talking to you and working with you in the future.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We hope that you are able to enjoy the amazing weather that we're having. Next week, we've got Carrie Arnston with us. Carrie and I are going to be talking about stepping outside of your comfort zone, trying different things, especially from a professional standpoint. It's not easy. So I'm looking forward to our talk with Carrie. I thank you guys for tuning in once again. We hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather and time with your family. Thanks, Jiliane.
Thank you.
Bye.